Who's rich and famous now? One of the most rich and famous doctors in the whole country? The Fat Man. Originally, he had gone west to do the bowel run of the stars, right? That was limited, right? So he went instead to Silicon Valley, and because he's a genius and a scientist as well, he joined up with some people who were looking on the biological basis of memory and remembering, and he's in phase 3 trials of inventing a memory pill that will help Gomers get their memory back and let people like me remember better. And so they call him up and they say, look, we'll let you do anything, just help us, because he has a contact there. And okay, and what he wants to do, I have such fun when what he wants to do is to round up the essential guys, they're all guys at that time, of the House of God team, and create a public clinic that's leaning up against this huge hospital. It's great, yeah. And what he wants to do, he says right at the start, he says, I want to put the human back in medicine.
Sure.
So here's a guy who's totally, completely literate and creates things on a computer, but he knows what's happening here. And that's the story of the book, how he tries to do that. And you have to see, and not only does he has Hyper Hooper, Eat My Dust Eddie, the Run and Chuck are holdovers, and then Barry and Roy, of course. Barry is now married to Roy, and they have a 5-year-old daughter, and they all, and by the end of the book, one of the things I like is that there were no women of real power in the House of God, which was the way it was.
Sure.
There was one intern in our class, and she was not by any means the best person. I couldn't write about her. I wouldn't write about her. But by the end of the book, there's parity of men and women, which I like, in the Fat Man Clinic. It's called the FMC, either the Future of Medicine Clinic or the Fat Man Clinic. But I also realized, and thank God I did, that this is once again a very serious story trying to get at exactly what's wrong now with the healthcare system. It has to ride on humor, and I think you read far enough in that you think it does.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah, it's a funny book.
When people ask me the best or most realistic medical TV show, I always say Scrubs. I never go to the dramas because I think you have to have the humor to get through it.
Absolutely.
And your books definitely characterize that.
Good. Yeah, good.
When I think of the Fat Man, I believe it was the Fat Man from House of God.
That's right.
So, okay, so this is being launched. Have you thought about another book after this in that series?
There's one disclaimer I have to make. This is not about NYU.
Okay.
This is not about NYU Medical School or any of the hospitals.
Sure.
Because guess what? They're too good. I couldn't write about them. I've been here 5 years. I think this is the best medical school and hospital system I've ever seen in the world. It's really good. And one of the reasons for that, I found out, was the people who are in charge are refugees from the House of God.
Oh, no way.
Yes way.
Wow.
And they were, like me, they were treated badly, and they were going to not treat others badly. And they broke the cycle of abuse. And this is cutting edge here, too.
I mean, I can't contest that. I spent about 5 years at NYU, and I still come back to visit and have friends here. And trauma, OB, ICU, airways, regional anesthesia.
My main hope for this book, it enters the conversation of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
All four of the pre-reviews that review the book, all of them said this should be reading for, in one way or another, this should be required reading for the candidates in 2020. Because it talks about the system, and nobody else is. The thing I love about writing a novel about this stuff is that can have a real effect. More than all the policy papers, more than all the jabber on TV,
Sure.
History's full of that. The House of God resulted in some real, not alone, but with other things happening, really, I think, and I've been told, help to bring about a more kind training system.
Absolutely. I wanted to thank you. Time is running short, so I really wanted to thank you for coming on the show. I really enjoyed the House of God, and I'm enjoying Man's Fourth Best Hospital. It's great, and I think you really have done some remarkable things, and it really is an honor to meet you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
I also wanted to add that I think this book has been long anticipated for about 40 years, and would you mind telling us do you have a website or anywhere they can find out more about you in the book?
There's a website called man's4thbesthospital.com with the numeral 4, man's4thbesthospital.com, and that has everything on it. And actually, one of the great things, it has JAMA, of all people. But, I've had stuff. Anyway, JAMA had filmed the 40th anniversary celebration at NYU last December of the House of God, and we brought back Hyper Hooper, Eba Dust Eddie, Chuck, and me and Barry, and we had one of the panels was a panel talking about that, and it was so good. And they made this fantastic 25-minute film of it.
Nice.
And I saw it. I mean, it was terrific. And I said to the head of JAM, I said, "Why don't you enter this in a film, festival? It's under the short documentary or something. It's incredibly good."
Wow.
It's going to be at the South by Southwest Film Festival in Austin in March.
Is there a link that my listeners can get to it?
Yeah, there should be a link.
We'll
with
put it on the show notes. That sounds great.
Yeah, there's a link to the film, and it's on the website.
Fantastic.
It's called The Making of the House of God.
Wow.
And there's a typewriter. You click on the typewriter.
Yeah, I think it got a lot of us through our training, so I think many of you out there will probably
I would just say one thing. The House of God has been absolutely a phenomenon beyond any book in medicine probably, and anything I could have imagined. But to keep up with what that started, you got to buy this book.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.